Hello and welcome back to Daily News Analysis by Abid Siksha. Today is 13th of June 2023. And let's begin with the first news, that is this news by UNESCO that US has decided to rejoin UNESCO after their decade-long protest against inclusion of Palestine as a member in the UNESCO. So now they have decided to rejoin, and they have agreed that they will pay a due of more than $600 million, that is back dues, and they were out for a decade, for remaining 10 years because UNESCO included Palestine as a member. Now this decision was they have stated that it was because of the concern that China was filling the gap left by the US in UNESCO policy making. Therefore, they are coming back again. Now, UNESCO is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, and it is one of the premier agencies of United Nations. And the purpose, it was right after the end of World War II, was to build defenses of peace in the minds of men and women. Okay, and this UNESCO helps with the nations to work together, then provide education for all and science and culture, right? And this also helps to follow the nations, the rule of the law and human rights. Okay, now UNESCO has 195 member countries, and they have 6 programs. One is education, natural sciences, social and human sciences, culture, communication and information. There are a lot of projects sponsored by UNESCO. For example, World Heritage Sites, that is one of the projects that is led by UNESCO, right? The second news is that President of India have met members of particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Now, what are these PVTG or particularly vulnerable tribal groups? They are a sub-classification of scheduled tribe or a section of scheduled tribe in Indian constitution that who are considered more vulnerable than a regular scheduled tribe. Now this list was created by the Indian government to improve the life and the living standards of these endangered tribal groups. Now previously they were known as primitive tribal groups, but in 2006 the government has decided to change the name to particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Okay, so you cannot use primitive tribal group. Primitive word itself is offensive, so it is best to avoid the term itself. And they have discussed that PVTGs, the members of PVTGs or particularly vulnerable tribal groups, to give importance to education, and the students from these communities should have special provision of seats in EKUVERIN model residential schools, meaning those schools that are set up for tribals. And apart from this, seats are also reserved for them in National Fellowship and Overseas Scholarship Scheme. And for women, they have Tribal Women Empowerment Scheme. Okay. On the other side, Indo Maldives joint military exercise, that is EKUVERIN, has commenced at Uttarakhand, that is Chaubatia. Then it will go on till 24th of June 2023. EKUVERIN means friends, and that has been happening between India and Maldives. This is the 12th edition. EKUVERIN, meaning exercise EKUVERIN. Okay, so it is between the Indian Army and Maldives National Defense Force. This is a 14 days long exercise for counter-insurgency, counter-terrorism operations, and humanitarian assistance, disaster relief operations. Okay, the 11th edition of the exercise was held in Maldives in December 2021. Now this news from Hindu: CoWIN vaccination data has been breached according to some reports. but the center has denied it. Okay. So the Union IT Minister said that bridge data were previously stolen but not from the CoWIN portal. So Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT, they have been asked to investigate the issue. Now CoWIN, we know the app where previously during the pandemic we registered in CoWIN to book slots to get the COVID vaccines, right? So those data were supposedly the most safest according to the government, but then all these reports are worrisome because there are a lot of data that have been included in the CoWIN app, and it could lead to breach of lot of important informations, right? So this is a very serious concern in terms of technology breach and privacy. ISRO, Norway, and the Svalbard mission of 1997. Now, recently, Norway's ambassador have met Indian delegation at the ISRO headquarters, and they have recalled the mission of 1997 when a Rohini RH-300 MK second was sent off from Svalbard, Norway, right? So they recall that mission, and they're planning that there will be another occasion that will be specially flown to Norway by ISRO. So Svalbard mission, okay, read about this Rohini rockets. This is important from this news. Now, why Svalbard, or the Norwegian part of the country, is important for India is because there is this Arctic mission called the Himadri, right? So you can look up for the Himadri station. So Norway is very particularly important because it is considered as the gateway to the Arctic. Then Assam government sanctions rupees 2 crore to build naamghar in Arunachal. Now this is to bolster the age-old ties between the two neighboring states, and it has been proposed at Namsang village in Tirap district of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. Now this Namsang naamghar will be built in honor of Hote, the first Nokte king of undivided Namsang and Bordoria kingdoms. Now Noktes, they are a tribe in Arunachal, but then their affinity is towards the Nagas. Okay, so Noktes are also known as the Nokte Nagas. Alright, so this king, the first Nokte king, he accepted few points of Vaishnavism in the late 18th century at Balisatra of Sasani village in Naharkotia, Assam, and the Sri Ram Dev, the Kshatradhikar of Kshatriya and Hote's guru, named the Nokte king as Narottam, meaning the best among men. So to commemorate that and revive the age-old relation between Assam and that part of Arunachal, this naamghar has been sanctioned. Now all these news are from the Assam related news, the people who are in news. One of them is Ashmita Chaliha, the teenager. She won the women's singles title at the Maldives International Challenge in Malé, that is the capital of Maldives. So she is very young, and she is doing a lot of work in terms of badminton, right? So she is one of the future champions. She is already a champion, but then, we have a very good scope in her. Then, two from Assam conquer Comrades Marathon. Now, this Comrades Marathon is one of the toughest marathons in the world that happened in South Africa. Alright, so two gentlemen, one is Santanu Datta and the other one, Anupam Deka, they have completed the marathon and that's why Mr. Santanu Datta was the first Assamese individual to cross the finish line, and alongside Mr. Anupam Datta also have triumphed. Alright. Then Mehdi Hasan, who recently got bronze at the Asian Under-20 Athletics that was in Korea in the 1500 meters event. So he has been felicitated by their district and by all dignitaries in Guwahati. Right. Then Uruguay beat Italy 1-0 to win the maiden Under-20 World Cup title. So again, Uruguay we know as a very competitive footballing team. So they have won the FIFA Under-20 World Cup this time. That was happening in Argentina for the first time, okay? Under-20 World Cup for the first time. Then Squash World Cup has been returned to Chennai. And this Squash World Cup is taking place after 12 years. The Squash World Cup began in 1996 in Petaling Jaya in Malaysia, then in the Netherlands in 1999, then after 12-year gap it was in Chennai in 2011. Now again the fourth edition is coming to Chennai again after 12 years, right? Now they have discussed, the committee on Squash World Cup, they have discussed that it will be held every 2 years from now onwards, right? So this is the fourth edition that will happen in Chennai. Okay, so with this we would like to come to the end of today's news analysis. Do join our Telegram channel for all the course updates and all the various materials that we are providing for our courses. Plus our study circle is there for serious candidates who would like to have that one-on-one interaction with us in the early mornings from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Also, we are providing free crash course materials on our YouTube channel that is for beginners or aspirants who would like to begin their studies, to help them guide into the realms of competitive examinations, right? So with this, thank you for joining this session. We'll see you soon.